Kate wants to know, why did you decide to run green?
Okay, thank you, Kate. Interesting question. It's assumed that I haven't been green for a while. I actually became a green in 1992 when we first were able to run candidates in California, and I was maybe my early 20s. We had just come out of the 8 years of Reagan, 4 years of Papa Bush, and no one was going to do anything about it. And I was disgusted with the Democrats at that time. How could we go through 12 years of the nightmare of this country, really the evisceration of community, of workers' rights, of labor protection, of anything that was resembling any type of peaceful communities? How could we go through that and not address it? And so my grandfather, actually, he was a FDR Democrat. He turned me on to the Green Party. So I've been a Green ever since. So
I like the fact that you use that term, because my grandmother is 102 years old.
Wow.
And or wait, I think she's 101. She'll be 102 soon. But yeah. But anyway, she used to identify as an FDR Democrat. And I always like to tell people, I'm like, you know what that used to be called in her day? Democrat. That's what that used to be called. Used to just be called Democrat.
Yeah.
Used to, yeah. But
well, yeah. I don't want to open up a super can of worms with this, but this is fundamental to who I am and fundamental to the politics I think that must be discussed. And what I promise to do if I win in November is start going back to the past. And a lot of the reason that young people love Bernie Sanders was not just what he talked about what's going on now and promises of the future, but he taught them, and they responded. They listened. I'm a lifelong teacher, and I know what what young people look like when they're listening. But it was no accident that everything's kind of changed since FDR, since those times when they took that mic away from Wallace and didn't allow him to be the nominee and instead put in Truman. It was the beginning of the Cold War. And we've been really going downhill philosophically and politically in this country ever since then. As a matter of fact, and everything has been an attack on anything progressive. If you think about it, 60, 70 years, if you were promoting anything like we want today, universal health care or housing rights or international peace, what have we always been called? Communists. We've been labeled around the world. People have been killed and tortured and disappeared because of this. Just a sec.
Tell them I'm busy.
Yeah.
Tell them I can't come to the phone.
Taken off the hook. And so to address this, and being someone who's been involved in Latin America issues for 30 years in the Latin American Solidarity Movement ever since the late 80s, it's near and dear to my heart. And so we actually put on in December a day-long panel in Los Angeles, and we called it the Cold War Truth Commission. And I invite anyone who's listening right now or who will in the future. What we did was we tried to create a model of a series of panels talking about how we were made afraid in this country to be progressive, how since for the last 100 years, we've been attacking progressive policies under the names of anti-communism, and then what we did in the name of anti-communism around the world, and what it did to this country, to the people of this country. So we want people who understand this kind of big picture to take this model around the country.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.